The PRI trade show is in the building as the performance racing industry temporarily takes up shop downtown Indianapolis Convention Center to showcase parts and services from all manner of motorsports. This is where the future of fast comes from, and Inside Drag Racing is about to take you through the front door. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to another edition of Inside Drag Racing. I'm your host, Ed Jones, and we're at the Performance Racing Industry Show in Indianapolis, Indiana. Cover the show every year. Let's get started with something that's really neat, especially for you racers out there. You know, there is a more economical way to do it. Let me talk to Joe right here with Liberty Performance. You have your own line?
Yes, our own line of performance parts.
And it's more economical.
Yes, it's more economical. It doesn't give up any quality.
How can you do that?
For our own personal line, we go directly to the manufacturers, cut out any middleman.
I see over here connecting rods.
Yep, connecting rods, that's right.
I see springs.
Valve springs, full valve train components.
Oh, so you have the valves too.
Correct.
Okay, I see heads over there.
Cylinder heads over here, right here.
Okay, you do cylinder heads. How about rockers, roller rockers?
Yep.
Okay, I see timing chains over there.
Yep, we do full timing sets for all makes and models.
And crankshafts?
Crankshafts too, yep.
So if you see LPC on it, that's the less expensive line.
Yes, it's quality based, yes.
Okay, now, if they want more information, is there a website they can go to look at all this stuff?
Yep, they can go to libertyperformance.com.
Okay. Do you make pistons or anything like that?
No pistons currently, but we do carry all the major piston manufacturers.
Ah, and you carry blocks too?
Yep, Dart blocks as well.
So they're building an engine. They can save a lot of money on some of the components, but what you don't make, you have.
Yes, we are a full wholesale distributor as well of all the major lines.
Okay, there you are, folks. See, that's why you watch Inside Drag Racing. You know what? I've got to go catch up with John Force. I didn't know E3 made plugs for funny cars.
They make plugs for all kinds of cars, so we're excited. We just signed up with them, and you know, it's a product. I started seeing their exposure with NHRA on signage, on TV, and ads and everything, and they're really more than just a great spark plug. We've tested it. We've done well with it last year, but it's the way they go to market. Like, they're excited, just excited to push the envelope, and that's what we're doing.
Okay, have you tested with it?
Yes, we have. And what's cool is it's all new technology. You know, spark plugs have been the same forever. You look at these, they're different. And yes, we have tested them, and they've passed the test in our 10,000 horsepower engines. So we're ready to bring a championship home to E3.
All right, what's going to happen with Force Racing next year? How many cars?
3 funny cars under Chevrolet, with Peak, with Auto Club and Traxxas, and then the Top Fuel car with Monster. So we've got a lot of work cut out for us. We're in a rebuilding stage. We started last year. I got hurt financially a few years back, but we recovered. Peak Antifreeze and Coolant bought my whole car. Monster bought the Top Fueler with my daughter Brittany Courtney under Traxxas. And of course, Robert Height, just a 5-year deal with Auto Club. So Chevrolet come on board. Lucas Oil took over, Slick Mist, different brands of his. So we've been real lucky to bring on the new partners and now E3. So we're back in business, and we're going to hurt some feelings this year.
Yeah, when you want more drivers, you just have more kids?
Yeah, well, no, my granddaughter, Autumn, Robert's daughter, driving junior dragster. So, yeah, the kids are loving it.
Okay, so before long, we'll have grandkids driving.
That's what we got. Got two boys, 2 grandsons, Jacob and Noah, and of course Autumn, and she's in the junior dragster now, so pretty exciting. Right.
Have a safe year.
Thank you.
Well, folks, it says number 43. That was Richard Petty's number, and it is one of the Winged Warriors at Dodge Daytona, but they tell me it's a Pro Modified, and I guess, what paint job do you call this?
It's a patina. This is a barn find. I wanted something that looked like that it was Richard Petty's, that he raced. It got parked, and everybody forgot about it.
Wow, how cool is that? So you're going to race it this way?
Yes, sir. We'll run all 9 races with the PDRA.
Wow, and so it is a for real Pro Modified car?
Yes, sir. Hemi powered, have a Visner billet head and a Darren Mayer blower on it. Car's been 380 before when Chip campaigned it. And we've kind of went through and spruced it up, replaced a few bars, new shocks, struts, brakes.
Has Chip seen this?
Chip has seen a picture or two, but he was supposed to be here and didn't make it.
I don't know what he's going to say when he sees what you did to his car.
Well, he's going to have to get over it because there's a lot of people that say it looks better now than it did when it was new.
I tell you, I really like the car. I look forward to seeing it on the drag strip. You're going to have a lot of fun with this, you know that?
Oh, yes, yes. There's been a lot of people make some real good comments, and probably the best one was Drew Olson, that Olson Paint and Body done the wheels, airbrushed them in. He says, it's going to be a good T-shirt selling vehicle.
You know, I never thought about that, but indeed it will. And let's hope it runs plenty quick, too. Just a little something extra here from the PRI Show. Inside Drag Racing is being brought to you by ARP, the world leader in fastener technology. And by Precision Turbo and Engine, the winning edge in boosted performance. And by Race Gas, get more out of your engine. Back here at the PRI show in Indianapolis, as we continue Inside Drag Racing coverage, it's all about heads, aluminum heads. And who better to visit with every year than Profiler? This is Mike Green, who's the vice president of Profiler. You've got one head for a big block here that sells a lot. Why?
This is our Sniper X 375 head, conventional 24-degree head, 460 CFM at 800 lift, and it's probably our most popular big block drag race head.
Okay, and it's for the Chevy.
Yes, big block Chevy.
Okay, now you also make them for Fords.
Yes.
You love them too.
Yes, we love the Fords too. We do a big block and small block Ford package.
All right, now let's talk about this guy. It's a little newer head.
Yeah, this is our Sniper XL head. As you can see here, we've redone the valve train on it, went with a flat rocker bar.
Yeah, I see.
Kind of bring the valve train out of the 60s up to the current day. Good stability at high RPM. 430 cc runner. We kept it a half-inch off the deck. Standard 24-degree valve angle, and we get 500 CFM plus out of it.
Now you make these from scratch, right?
We start with a piece of ingot,
Okay.
and we cast everything in-house.
Okay.
So everything is made in the USA.
And then for cutting, you CNC.
Yes, we CNC everything in-house also.
Okay, now let's talk about for the small block guys out there.
We do an as-cast small block Chevy head in 3 different port sizes, and then we also do a CNC ported version of the small block head. This one here is a 235 cc runner. Standard valve train works on it. Just an easy bolt-on piece to make good horsepower.
Street strip.
Yeah, street strip guys, you know, even the hot rod guys with the as-cast stuff seems to work out real well for them.
Now you've got some intakes you make that matches all this.
Yes, our small block intake manifold should be out in February. It's a brand new piece. All the dyno results look real good with it. And then we have our Sniper manifolds, single plane tunnel ram, and that's a pretty popular deal for us on the single plane manifold.
Yeah, and again, you make those.
Yes, we do everything ourselves in-house.
Okay, if they want more information, website?
Profilerperformance.com, or you can check us out on our social media pages at Facebook and Instagram.
All right, thank you very much, Mike. Hey, I got to go find some more neat stuff. And so I found some wheels here at the PRI show. This is Mr. Davis. He's the president of Race Star Industries, who make Race Star wheels.
We have wheels that are basically a street performance wheel. They're wheels that have got the load ratings that will handle the everyday driving of your car, yet it's light enough that the gentleman can go to work in the evening, go to the racetrack, and run their car down the strip and get better times with our wheels.
Street and strip.
Yes, street and strip, definitely street and strip. We've engineered the wheel so that you can put a smaller wheel on your car that'll accommodate a larger tire, and that's real important that it'll let the car hook up better and get a better time down at the drag strip.
Now, you have something for the Mustangs I've never seen before.
For the Mustang, we've got the entire gamut of wheels from the Fox bodies, 80s and 90s Mustang, the 4-lug to the 5-lug. We've got wheels clear on up to 20-inch. Right now, currently, we're the only person in the country that has a double bead lock 15 by 10 for the 04 through 15 Mustang. They come out of the factory with 425 horsepower. These guys put a couple bolt-ons. It's kicking 1,000 horsepower, and they've got trouble with the tire turning on the wheel.
Yeah.
And we've got the answer for it. So we're proud. We introduced that in 2015, and sales are going real well on that right now.
Now, you also have a more economical line for the guy that's on a budget, a bracket racer.
We just introduced for 2016 what we call the 92 Dragstar Bracket Racer. It is a metallic gray wheel that allows it to sell 10 to 20% less than our current cheapest wheel, which would be our polished wheel. And it goes good with all the new colors on the car today, and it's really a beautiful wheel.
And you have some for the Corvettes.
Yes, we do. We just introduced a new series that encompasses all the Corvettes from C3 through C7. A lot of these guys now are taking the Corvettes to the drag strip. They come out with over 600 horsepower. They're putting them on the drag strip. They need a smaller wheel and a larger tire too. They also need it on a budget. A lot of these wheels for these Corvettes are well up on over $4,000 to $6,000, and they can get in a set of wheels from us for $1,200 to $1,300 to $1,400.
And of course, the ever popular black chrome.
Today, we sell more black wheels than we sell polished or anything else. It's lighting up the market right now. We were one of the first into it 4 years ago, and it's well over 70% of our sales today. So every day it just gets more and more popular.
All right, see, that's why you watch Inside Drag Racing. We find all this neat stuff for you. We're going to have more from the PRI show right now. We'll take a quick break. It's time once again for the Quarter Mile Quiz, brought to you by ARP. This week's question, what is the RPM just before the car leaves the starting line? We'll have that answer after the break. Welcome back to Inside Drag Racing and the ARP Quarter Mile Quiz. This week's question, what is the RPM just before the car leaves the starting line? And for the answer, we turn to funny car driver Jack Beckman.
When we step on the throttle, these things go from idle. Now, idle's 2,500 RPM, and in a tenth of a half of a second, they're at 8,500 RPM. The clutch will start tugging down on them. It'll drop down to about 6,800 RPM in the middle of the run, climb back up to about 8,300 at the finish line.
Back on Inside Drag Racing at the PRI show here in Indianapolis, I caught up with Mike Bennett, who makes drive shafts, custom drive shafts, for any kind of drag vehicle you might want. It's called Dynamic Drive Lines, and this is an example of what?
That's a 3 3/4 carbon fiber for drag racing.
Okay, now carbon fiber. Why do I want carbon fiber?
The carbon fiber is lighter. It's a safer product. If it breaks, it doesn't tear up a lot of stuff underneath the car, and it improves reaction time and
Whoa,
lighter.
Reaction time, really?
It's a lighter, so it responds quicker.
Oh, cool. I never thought about that. Kind of light on a guy, change drive shafts. Now, if I want one of these, this is a big one, huh? I mean, it's carbon fiber. How much horsepower?
That one there will handle up to around 2,500 horsepower.
Really?
Yep.
And it won't break?
Nope, it's all good.
And then you make smaller ones here?
Yep, this is like a step down. This is 3 1/4 outside, and they're pretty good up to about 1,500 horsepower.
That's incredible. Carbon fiber is stronger than I realized. Now, if you're having one of these made for your drag car, what do they measure? What do you need to know?
I just need a measurement from the center of the U-joint to the center U-joint on yours. And if you don't have that, I can even go from like the seal of your transmission to the rear end and get it from there.
Just you come with the U-joint?
Yep, ready to bolt in.
Okay, really neat. Now, you also make, though, aluminum.
Yep, I got aluminum, I got some standard steel and some chromoly steel stuff.
Chromoly?
Yep.
Something really strong.
Really strong.
How fuel racing.
Indestructible, pretty much.
Okay. If they want more information, want to talk to you about this, pricing and everything like that, you have a website?
Yep, it's dynamicdrivelines.com.
All right, there you have it, folks. If you need a drive shaft made for your drag car, he makes them custom, no matter what size you want. We've talked about everything else. Now let's talk a little bit about oil pumps. I'm going to the top of the line, folks. Johnson's right here has come up with something different in the way of drag racing oil pumps, because your pump meets what, a aeronautical spec?
Yes, everything is mil spec per aircraft application.
Now, what does that mean?
That means that all the impregnations, coating, materials, and every technology is design criteria for longevity and lasting and high volumetric efficiency.
Okay, you have one of your pumps blown apart right here that we can look and see, and you're doing that so we can see how it's built.
The characteristics of design of the dowel pinning and the precision alignment of all the gears and the gear sets to the housings to give it the highest volumetric efficiency possible.
Okay, now here's a set of the gears. Why are these different from the average pump?
These are a leaded alloy, aerospace alloy, and they're impregnated, not coated. They've got a manganese phosphate impregnation base to them, which is plated on, and then they're impregnated with molybdenum disulfide, a dry film lubricant.
I'm glad you understood all that. So here it is in the pump. Boy, there's not much tolerance or clearance there.
The clearance on our pumps is less than 1/1000th, and it's capable of holding that clearance right through a duty cycle, which would be under pressure and temperature of approximately 180 to 190 degrees.
So you don't get any burning or chafing or anything like wear?
No, in fact, the most important part of this is that we don't have the wear that adds clearance, which would reduce the volumetric efficiency of the pump.
Okay, now you make pumps in what, 5 stages, 1 stage?
We make them everywhere from a single stage all the way through to 6 stage in specialized applications for Hemis or block mounts and external oil pumps that people should be replacing their internal oil pumps with.
Okay, yeah, you're right about that. Now you also do some pumps for the rear end.
We originally designed these for NASCAR, saving their rear ends from failure back in the 90s. And then our recent developments have been internal rear end pumps, which are these that mount up to the back of the pinion and driven off of a hex in the pinion inside the third member. And this is specifically for cooling principles.
Have they done this in drag racing?
No, they haven't moved to this in drag racing. It's important to establish a knowledge base with them to understand that the gear trains that they're using aren't meant to be under the forces and loads they're carrying, and that they should be stabilizing temperatures in the fluid condition.
So there you are, folks. You know, they weren't in drag racing. I'll bet they are now. Inside Drag Racing has been brought to you by ARP, the world leader in faster technology, and by School of Automotive Machinists, education at full speed, and by Steel Rubber Products, quality crafted rubber parts and weather stripping. Welcome back to Inside Drag Racing, coming to you from the PRI show in Indianapolis, Indiana. Now, we've talked to you about race cars and building everything inside the motor, outside the motor. Let's talk about the car itself. You want to restore a classic car, or maybe you just want to take and make a race car out of something. It's a rust bucket. That used to be a real problem. Not anymore. Meet KBS Coatings, and you can see what they've done with this rear end right here. They've de-rusted this, put a coating on it. I thought this was just the rust removed naturally. He said, no, we have a paint coating that makes it look natural after you take the rust off. Is that right?
That's right.
Okay, now in addition to this, you could do what? Valve covers?
You can do valve covers because we've got 37 different engine enamel colors, OEM engine enamel colors. We've got gas tank sealers sealing the inside of a gas tank. A lot of motorcycle car guys, they have a tank that they just can't find a duplicate tank for it. So their only alternative is to seal that tank. We've got water-based cleaner degreasers. The whole system as KBS is clean, blast, and seal. You want to clean the surface to get all the greases and oils and any contaminants that's going to hinder adhesion of any paint, whether it's our paint or somebody else's. So you need a good water-based cleaner degreaser. Rust Blast is a mild phosphate zinc coating that etches the steel, dissolves the rust, leaves a little zinc phosphate residue so you got additional rust protection under the paint. And then our rust seal comes in 10 different colors. Naturally, our most popular, like you see on the rear end here, is gloss black or satin black. We've got real nice consumer packaging for a kit. Guy walks into a store, how much cleaner do I need? Right in the box. How much prep do I need? Right in the box. How much paint do I need? Right in the box. Well, how do I apply it? Gloves and brushes, right in the box. Pick up the kit, done.
Speaking of engines, you can do an entire engine, right? You have engine paint.
Correct. We've got engine paint for the black and the valve covers, but we also have high temperature paints for your manifolds or your headers, whatever you're using. And we've got 9 different colors. They can be brushed on, sprayed on. Ours is guaranteed not to burn off, discolor, rust through.
Now, inside a frame, you got something for that.
You could use our clean blast seal system for the outside of the frame, but what about the inside, say a box frame? It can rust from the inside out. We've got a product called our cavity coater over here. It's a type of a cavity wax with an aerosol spray tip of 36 inches long and 360 spray tip on the end. You push it into any hole you got in the frame, spray it about a foot a second as you're pulling it out. It weeps and seeps and creeps into, the seams, the weld joints, where brackets are bolted to stuff. It seeps in there and it's done.
Well, there you have it, folks. Everything you always wanted to know about getting rid of rust, but we're afraid to ask. How about Inside Drag Racing goes high tech? And I mean high tech, folks. These are the people right here from TCAT. We're going to tell you what that is in just a minute. Now, what am I looking at right here on this laptop?
This is our data viewer for our Wiser Model 2030, which is a wireless torque measuring and monitoring system.
Okay, and you're going to show me that this represents like a drive shaft.
That's correct. This is a solid aluminum shaft. Could represent a drive shaft, a half shaft, and we have a strain gauge mounted on it, which picks up the strain on this shaft as I'm twisting it, sends it a digital signal wirelessly to a base unit so you can view it in real time.
And that's the key, wirelessly.
That's correct.
So it has a battery.
It has a battery.
So how long will it last?
The battery's good for about 80 hours.
Nah, get out of here.
Absolutely, Ted. It's good for about 80 hours. In fact, if you run it at a lower data rate, our maximum data is 2 kilohertz. If you run it lower, you could potentially get hundreds of hours out of this battery.
And you can monitor many different things. For instance, you have a flex plate right here.
Absolutely.
Okay, what are we monitoring with that?
Okay, you're monitoring the strain in the flex plate. So in essence, we have made this flex plate into an engine dynamometer. You can see the electronics here. We've got 8 different strain gauges on it. You've got a non-rechargeable high heat battery on here so it can handle that environment.
Okay, and then we've got a U-joint here.
We've got a U-joint here. Some of our customers find that U-joints will fail because of temperature or vibration, and so in this case, they'd like to predict the failure, and our system allows them to do that, so we can measure vibration and temperature as well.
Okay, now let me go over here to the CEO, and you've got it mounted yet another place.
Yeah, so this is a flex plate application where we've put it on an LS flex plate. This is a TCI flex plate, it happens to be. And what we can do on here is when we put a torque onto that flex plate, we can measure the real-time power coming out of this engine while it's going down the road.
Now, you're actually doing this in drag racing on a top fuel car.
We are, yes. So Coletta Motorsports is right down the road from us near Ann Arbor, Michigan, and we have this on Doug Coletta's top fuel car where we've put it inside the rear main journal of the crankshaft to get engine torque. We've got it on the coupler, the drive shaft, both of the rear axles so they can measure the torque split, and this year we even put it on the frame to measure how much the frame is twisting while they go down the track.
Matter of time, you understand you're going to get a call from Schumacher and Force and the rest of them, right?
Yes, and we've had a few of those calls already.
I bet you have. This is unbelievable. You can use this in all different forms of racing. I can see, folks, the potential of this. Just use your imagination. What do you want to measure? I like the part where it's wireless. That'll bring it to a close. Another edition of Inside Drag Racing from the PRI Show. Hope you've learned a lot more watching this show. Until next time, I'm Ted Jones. So long, everyone.